Been doing lots of stuff going between working car. Sure you saw in the last video what we did was we got the frame horns all finally done up, and that took a lot more time than I thought it was going to. There was a certain amount of fabrication needed to be done there, and you know, you can't really rush that stuff. You gotta take the time and measure it and make sure it's right and it fits. So now that that's done, we're going to move forward, getting this thing ready. It's got to go on a rotisserie so I can do the floors. And as soon as you take the floors off these things, they get real twisty, right? They're a unibody car. Sprite is a unibody car, and you take the floors out. It's the same thing. Same reason I had to put the boot floor back in before I could put it up. You know, you need that structure there, and pulling the floors out necessitates removing some of that structure. So we're going to have to build a cage to support it. I'm probably going to go a little overboard on that because it's what I do. But yeah, so next step is to build a steel cage to keep this car, everything where it's going to go. The doors are going to be in place and stuff, but we want to keep it from twisting. We want to keep it from flexing. We just want everything to be in the place where it was before. So that's the next step. And it's going to be a bit here and a bit there because, as I was saying, work schedule. But we're gonna do, it's one of those things I can do, you know, 1 or 2 pieces here this day, 1 or 2 pieces here the next day. So we're going to work that together here, and I'll compress it all down into one video for you. And what you're about to see is what I guess I'm going to be doing. All right. So what we have, 3/4 inch conduit, steel conduit. It's actually galvanized. So this is all going to be eyeball measuring. I'm going to go from maybe about halfway along there up into here. So mark it on the angle, cut that. Then I'll mark this. I'll cut this into shape and grind it into shape. Then I'm going to do cross pieces going the other way. I'm not doing from the floor strengthener because I want a little wider set. So I'm going to go from this. I can't go from the sill because the sill's coming off and being replaced. So I got to go from the main cross piece, and I'm going to come up into here, and I'll do the same going the other way. And on the back, I'm going to go from the floor strengthener up to where the main cross piece on the rear section goes across. So it'll be structural, and then I'm going to crisscross them this way as well, plus have some V's in the door. So this one has been cut and ground. I'm actually going to reverse the direction of it. It fits really nicely right here. And the reason I'm going to reverse the direction is because it's a solid piece and I got clearance here. And then with the cross pieces, because they're going to join it, I can come in at slightly different angles. Even though it's not perfect, what will happen then is it'll be able to clear this, because coming in the way I was originally doing it, it hits that and it doesn't quite clear it very well. So this is the way it's going to go. And I think I'm going to tack that in place right now and then go from there. That's measurement 1. One thing I'm going to point out is because this is galvanized, it puts off some nasty fumes. So new air filters on my mask. And I'm also going to be opening the garage door as well to let some of the fumes out. And but yeah, we want to be careful with the galvanized fumes. They're not good for you. And just to be clear about the fact, I am doing these are P100s, and this mask actually fits underneath my welding helmet. So that I'm going to be wearing this under my welding helmet as I'm welding, because as I was saying about the fumes, they're not great for you. So we got the mask on, and it goes under the welding helmet, and it fits. You just have to tuck it up a little bit. So we're marking where this is going to crisscross. So that's our aiming point when I cut this one down. Yeah, that looks good there. I want you on an angle about, oopsie. From there, so 2 feet from the long end. I'm going to cut it straight there, and then I'm going to shape it in after. Now, because I'm shaping it in after, I actually cut it a little long. So, let's see how we do. Okay, so. So we're going to have to cut this kind of a weird shape to make it go in there, because it's got to go around. So we're kind of doing this winging it mode. So we'll see how she turns out. Now there is software and you can make shapes for this and all that. I'm just not bothering. Well, that looks pretty good to me. Yeah, that's where that's gonna go. If you look close, you can actually see the white contamination from the zinc. That's why you want to wear your mask. And we got it tacked in, top and corners. So that's the first X. Now we got to do the X on the back. Here we are, a couple of days in, where I go to work, come home, kind of fiddle on this for an hour or two, cut something, then have to go to bed because I'm going back to work. But it's making progress. So got a cross beam across the back, cross beam across the front. Then this will keep it torsionally from spinning. Then I've got some more. I'm not cut to length yet because there's lots of trimming and cutting around edges to make this. But one's going to go from basically up there to back here, so it'll be like that. And then there's going to be another one that's going to go, it's going to be shorter. It's going to go from there up to here. So we're going to make like a 3D space frame, and then I'm also going to have a vertical, because part of the A-pillar is going to have to come out on the bottom. I'm going to have a vertical piece there to keep that in place as well when that structure is missing. So that's where we're going to go. And yes, I know the welds are ugly. I'm really not trying. I've heated it up a bit. It's galvanized, so I'm producing some fumes, but I want this penetrated. So yeah, they're ugly welds. Galvanized doesn't like my MIG gas, I guess. I don't know, but it's not something I have a lot of experience dealing with. So. But they seem to be holding together. That's all you can ask. So this piece up here, that's going to run vertical. there and there from that spot up. This piece here is going to make a V, which you'll see me measuring for. These are just approximations, so I'm going to give her a quick cut here. I'm going to note that kind of long by about the diameter of this, actually radius of this. The reason I cut it long is to allow me room to sculpt it and such. So this is lots of nibble and measure, lots of fettling. That's what this whole thing's been about, because I want to make sure it fits. So I'm kind of custom measuring every single bar. Yeah. So this one's perfect. I just gotta grind this off a little bit, and it's actually perfect. Now I've got the first one measured, I may as well measure the second one, and I'll weld them both at the same time. So what I did is I measured where, let's grab one here. Say this was the cross piece, right? I measured, where's the angle there? There it is. So I measured first the angle where it's at the bottom, and then I also marked half the diameter up this, there and there, and then I drew a V, and that is more or less what I want to cut. I actually want a little less than half, otherwise it'll be too tight and thin. I want about 1/3 of the diameter of the pipe that's lining up against. Now I'm going to round it off a little. And there it is, fitted in. So now I'm going to weld it. Actually, I'm going to weld them both. All right, so there's our cage on one side done. You know what, I'm going to video it from the other side so you can see it a little better. You can see on the driver's side it's now done. This should not work so this should not move anywhere. And finished. The welds are ugly, but I'm not too worried about it on the galvanized. Alrighty, so that's the roll cage in. So this thing is pretty much ready now to go up onto its little Ferris wheel. So I guess that would be the next step, would be to start assembling the rotisserie. We'll pick that up in the next video.